A mother is saying that smoking weed while watching her children is no different than a mommy drinking a glass of wine and watching her kids. I think this is a very interesting debate. This woman by the name of Caitlin Fledager, she's 28 years old. She's an attractive blonde. She's got a couple of kids that I'm looking at the picture of the kids, and the kids, the story I saw, it didn't have the ages of her kids, but I'm looking at the pictures of the kids, and the kids look to be about maybe 6 and 8 is my guess. And
so they're pretty self-sufficient by now.
Well, listen, they're not. It's not an infant at 4 months old and a 2-year-old, but the kids appear to be maybe 6 and 8 is my guess. And she is a recreational marijuana smoker. So Caitlin, the mommy, at 28, is a recreational marijuana smoker. And she says that she smokes marijuana while her kids play. She smokes marijuana while, she's watching her kids, or maybe the kids are out in the yard. She's smoking on a joint. And she's saying that
Do you smoke marijuana in your house? Do you smoke marijuana with a mouse?
Yeah.
MJ, you don't even know what
Do you smoke it on a train?
Do you smoke it on a plane?
Do you smoke it in the rain? Would you smoke it with a goat?
That would be awesome.
Would you smoke it on a moat?
Awesome.
What were we going to say, Fester?
No, MJ, I don't think you understand what you're going to unravel here. I bet you...
Are you telling me that I don't understand what I'm going to unravel here if I go to phones? Is that what you're saying?
I bet you the number of calls we get from mothers who blaze during the day to tolerate their toddler is going to exceed anything you're expecting.
Token to tolerate the toddler? Is that what you're saying?
That's what they're doing.
Token for toddler toleration.
Moms who are getting high during the day. I mean, I know we're you're bringing it up and you think it's a quirky story, but this is a thing. I mean, there are people who are high all day around their kids.
Well, Caitlin is saying, and she's got 2 kids. She's a mom of 2. And she says if you see a mother drinking wine while she watches her kids and it doesn't bother you, then why should me smoking a joint bother you? So she's suggesting, and listen, you've got marijuana that's legal, recreational marijuana that's legal in many parts of the country now. A lot of the laws, though, require that you smoke it in your own home, or you smoke it indoors. That
or
you
have a medical card for it.
Yeah, well, listen, you've got recreational marijuana states, and then you have medical marijuana states, and then you have, states that obviously have both. But look at the phones already. Hey, Andrew, can you screen calls here?
Every line's going to be lit, just like joints.
So every line's going to be lit like Caitlin's lit, apparently, while watching her kids. All right, so do you agree with Caitlin, the mother, that her smoking a joint is no different than mommy wine time, mommy watching the kids and sipping on a glass of Chardonnay or whatever? You know what? Let's go to phones on this as well. 800-990-1047. You agree with this? That mommy smoking a joint, she says, hey, you don't chastise a mom for watching the kids while sipping on a glass of wine, so don't judge me and don't chastise me for smoking a joint. She's saying it's the same thing. All right, 800-990-1047. So a couple of things at play here. You agree or disagree with Caitlin, the pot-smoking mommy, number one, or are you a toker and a smoker and a midnight joker? How does that go?
Joker, smoker, midnight toker.
I'm a joker, I'm a toker. What is it?
I'm a joker, I'm a smoker, I'm a midnight toker.
Midnight toker, there you go. All right.
Midnight toker.
All right, let's go to phones on this. 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. Do you agree that this is no big deal and smoking a joint is the same thing as drinking a glass of wine and it's just a stigma?
Well, I try not to be in the business of judging other moms. So
okay. Says the woman Roxanne, who walks in here all the time complaining about what she sees other mothers do. Look,
I'm sorry, Roxanne.
Fester's choking on neck fat over here.
Listen,
Okay.
I'll tell you.
Listen.
The big tell on judgy moms is when they start a sentence with, "I'm not one to judge other moms."
I'm not. You do you. But let me just tell you that would not be the case.
You. Hold on. Isn't that a slogan for a company? You do you. Where did I hear that?
Just for me right now.
Anyway, go ahead.
So here's the thing. For me, that would not be the case, but that is only because I have built up such a high tolerance for wine.
Yeah, you're always drinking around your kids, which I think that speaks volumes. You're always with a bottle open when you're watching the kids, right?
You've heard me on the phone with my kids in the background.
Yeah.
So you get it.
Hey, Roxanne's at the playground in West Chase with her kids. You'll see a wine glass and a whole bottle right next to her.
I'll just wear the thing around my neck. You know the wine glass holders that you wear around your neck?
In a paper bag.
Oh, okay, that's too classy.
She's got a white bottle. Are you angry at me?
No.
You just gave me a look.
No, it just reminded me of my life.
All right, let's go to phones on this. Where do you come down on Caitlin? Do you agree or disagree with Caitlin, who says, "Don't judge me because I smoke pot while watching my kids"? No different than a mommy drinking a glass of wine. Or listen, you've got those mommy play dates. The mommies, bring all the kids together. They're playing in the house. They're playing in the yard. And the mommies are all sipping on wine. And she's saying, what the hell? What's the difference if all the mommies are smoking a joint while the kids are playing? All right, where do you fall on this, folks? Fire up the phones, 800-990-1047. You agree or disagree with Caitlin? No difference between a joint and wine. 800-990-1047. Hey, by the way, before I go to phones, we have the Trip-A-Day song. And the Trip-A-Day song to win a 3-day staycation with hotel and tickets to Busch Gardens and Adventure Island is Hungry Eyes by Eric Carmen. So Hungry Eyes by Eric Carmen will play sometime today in the 4 o'clock hour. And when you hear it, just be the 7th caller to win on Q105 for the Trip-A-Day. Again, Hungry Eyes, Eric Carmen, 4 o'clock hour with Mason Dixon here on Q105. I think we opened up a can of worms here because the phones are going nuts. Let me grab first call on this is GW and is driving to Largo. Hold on. So GW, you don't want to. What is your actual location now?
I'm on the bridge, Howard Franklin. It's really down big time.
All right, hold on a second. You broke up, and of course the Howard Franklin has bad cell service. But say that again. The Howard Franklin is what? GW hit one of the bad cell dead spots. Hold on.
GW.
Hold on. He'll come back because when I'm talking to my wife on the bridge, we just weave in and out. All right, GW, can you hear me? He's still there. The cell has not dropped. And hey, GW, can you hear me on the bridge? All right, hold on. Hey, GW, you there? Hold on here.
I'm there.
Okay.
I'm here.
What were you saying about the Howard Franklin?
I said it's just slowed way down. I'm only doing 5 miles an hour.
Oh man, which direction you're heading? Oh, so you're going to Largo, so you're heading southbound, right?
Right.
All right, so you're saying Howard Franklin southbound is all jammed up right now.
Yes, it is.
All right. What are we going to say about the mommy and the smoking pot around the kids?
Yeah, we'll do it. And I just want to say, Wilder, I think she's very responsible with her glass of wine because I have a couple at night. Very responsible. But I was on a bad call. I'm retired.
Hold on. Did you call her Wowie Wilder?
No, I call her Wildy. Wildy Wilder. Wow. I like her.
Gotcha. Because a lot of folks don't know Roxanne Wilder. Wilder's her last name, and that's her real last name. That's not like a fake radio name.
No, that's my real name.
Yeah.
My government name.
Yeah. All right. So go ahead, GW.
Okay. And everybody's different. And that's the problem. And this couple was, they're recreational supposedly because there was a lot of things going on with this couple afterwards to find out what happened. And she put her baby, 3 years old, in the tub, and they're partying with they weren't drinking, they were just smoking weed, but they forgot her and she slipped under, and unfortunately we got there too late.
Oh man! Oh, wait a minute. So you said I think we missed what you said. I'm looking at my screen now. You're a retired EMS, right?
Yes.
All right, and then a couple, they were smoking weed. They put their baby in the tub unattended, and things didn't end well.
They did. That was unfortunate.
Oh my God! Where did this happen? What city?
It doesn't mean somebody else can't smoke a joint and be responsible.
Yeah, but don't put your baby in the tub unattended. Now, how old was the baby?
3,
Oh, jeez. And then where did this happen?
Syracuse, New York.
Syracuse. Did the family get charged?
I can't remember everything that happened. I don't know.
All right, so what do you think about Caitlin's claim that, mommy watching the kids smoking a joint is no difference than sipping on wine? You agree or disagree?
I put it like this. If it was Willie Nelson, he could do it. It depends on the tolerance, like Wildy.
Wow.
That's Willie Nelson. Would you take your kids to Willie Nelson Daycare Center? All right, let me
Absolutely.
let me go to Nancy in Bradenton. Nancy, you're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Your thoughts on a glass of wine versus a joint?
Oh, take the joint. We have a birthday party recently for my daughter. She just turned 6. And then you have a whole bunch of them little munchkins running around, and it hits you better than a glass of wine.
All right, whoa, Nancy, wait a minute. Are you saying you just had a birthday party for your 6-year-old daughter, and the parents were smoking weed at the birthday party?
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, man, this happens all the
Everybody
time.
has their own vices, and you got to tolerate your kids one way or another.
All right, now where did you hold? Were you like a Chuck E. Cheese smoking a joint, or your house?
At the house, in the backyard.
And how many parents were there? How many kids?
At least 15 children.
And how many parents were smoking joints?
I'm going to say about half.
Half were smoking the doob. And if you don't mind me asking, Nancy, you got a 6-year-old kid. You're smoking weed in the backyard during the birthday party.
Yeah.
Nancy, how old are you?
I'm 34.
All right, and the other parents there around the same age as well?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Nancy, thank you for listening to the MJ Morning Show. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Love you guys.
Love you too. Look at a new twist. Birthday party bong smoke token. Birthday bong. All right.
You got your tokens for Chuck E. Cheese, and you got your token for your adults.
There you go. Kathy's in Sarasota. Hey, Kathy, you're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
We are well. Your thoughts on Caitlin saying her smoking a joint while watching her kids is no different than mommy sipping on a glass of wine while watching the kids?
I think both are terrible. I mean, I don't mean to be judgmental at all, but I come from the era where mommy had her happy juice and then there was values. I mean, little kids know they know what's going on, and you're developing these children to become, drug addicts and alcoholics and thinking it's okay to use something, to tolerate you, I think it's just.
You know what? Let me point something out here. And, I do believe that kids are a product of their environment, or a lot of what kids grow up to do and be is a product of their environment. And I think a good example is my mother and father were never smokers. My mother and father were never drinkers. And I never grew up wanting to drink. Even like in high school, I went to all of the parties. I was in the, in a great friend group, at high school. I went to the parties, but the red Solo cup that I had at the parties didn't have beer or vodka in it. I always just had, like a Coke or a ginger ale in mine. I just never really had the propensity. However, I'll tell you what I noticed. The parents that my friends who had parents that drank all the time, and they'd come home from work and they'd have like the liquor cart set up in the living room. And the first thing they did when they walked in the door, they were drinking, nonstop for the rest of the night. Those friends that had those parents, those kids tended to be drinkers.
Right. I mean, like I said, I'm not judging. I'm not a prude or anything like that, but that's my same observation. I have a lot of friends who are products of alcoholics because of their parents' behavior when they were growing up, and I was part of that. I witnessed that as a child. I mean, children are not stupid.
Now, were your parents drinkers or smokers?
Now, my father was a big drinker and a big smoker, but my mother was not. She was neither. And I was at a period where I drank a lot, in my early 20s, and I did my share of partying and stuff like that because my dad looked like he was having a good time.
So you learned that from your dad?
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
My dad was a big drinker as well. And he always reminded me that we all have free will.
And
We do what
Roxanne,
we want to do.
Roxanne comes to work at least 3 days a week,
Yeah.
smelling like alcohol.
I actually, just want to point out, I'm not.
You like
I
that,
have to-
Fester?
At least 3 days a week.
At least. I have to disclose, I am not really a daytime drinker. And we were all out to brunch the other day, and everybody got champagne glasses.
Right.
And all the women were drinking except me. And Daviana was like, Mama needs wine. Mama needs wine. Because everybody else had drinks and I didn't. So it was shocking for her to see that. So
2-year-olds calling you out. Somebody wine mom up.
somebody wine her up. Look at the phones on this. Let me grab John is in Bradenton. Hey, John, you're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hi. Did I lose John? I did. Look at that. I think we just dropped his cell. Let me grab Darren is in Land O'Lakes. Darren, you're on the MJ Morning Show. John, try to call back. Hi, Darren.
Hey, good morning.
Morning. What's your thought here on Caitlin the mommy saying, hey, don't judge me if I smoke joints around my kids. It's no different than mommy drinking a glass of wine.
Would that mom be okay with the babysitter smoking a joint?
It's a good point.
yeah.
Good point about the
question.
joint.
I mean,
Got the joint point going on.
Joint.
you got to be alert, man. You got to be ready. What if you have to go to the hospital or doctor or something, and you got to jump in the car? I mean, they're high.
Yeah, the babysitter needs to make a judgment call. The kid cuts its hand on a can opener or something, right?
Yeah.
I got to be. I don't want my babysitter, high. I don't want him drunk or high.
No.
Yeah, no, listen, I think it's a very good point. Thanks a lot. That's why we take calls here. Let me grab Kurt is in Tampa. Hey, Kurt, you're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hi.
Hey, good morning. Nice hearing you out back on the air,
Hey, Kurt, thank you. Yep, the MJ Morning Show is back on Q105. Kurt, when did you find out we were back on 104.7 FM?
Oh, it's back when you first got on many months ago.
Well, that's fantastic. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, Kurt, your thoughts on the pot-smoking mommy?
I got two of them. First of all, I think it's almost child abuse, but it's no different than smoking around your kids or drinking heavily around your kids. You're impaired. Just like the last caller said, you got to be ready to take care of your children.
All right, but John, let me put it one for one. Mommy smoking one joint, you think smoking one joint is worse than mommy drinking one glass of wine, yes?
Yes, either one of them. I think joints are worse because, I've got personal problem with it with the staunch smell of it that we have to put up with because they want to smoke. And then your children around the environment of smoke, just like cigarette smoke.
Yeah.
Just as bad as around your kids.
You're bringing up a point that a lot of our texters have, that it's the secondhand smoke factor that they think is the irresponsible part of smoking a joint around your child.
Absolutely. And then the last caller hit it on the head. Would you let your babysitter smoke a joint watching your kid? Come on.
Yeah, the answer is no. Kurt, thanks for the call. Great stuff. Drive safely. Let me grab Dawn in Tampa. Hey, Dawn, you're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hi.
Hi, good morning. I agree with your last caller. I work in case management, and, parents who smoke pot not only become more impaired, but again, if they're smoking around their children are going to also have the effects of marijuana, a lot more than if it was secondhand smoke. And if you have one mom and three kids, and I went to a birthday party and the mom turned around and smoked pot, and then everybody had left because it was my sister-in-law. I found out about it. And my nephew...
You're ratting out your sister-in-law on 100,000 watt MJ Morning Show on Q105.
I know she doesn't listen, so... but after everybody left, my nephew fell off the slide.
Right.
And he cut his lip open, and she couldn't drive to take him to the hospital.
Whoa. See, so the kid fell off the slide, busted his lip open, and then she was all high on pot, so she couldn't take the kid to the... Well, I guess that's when you called 911.
And that's the thing. I know people get somewhat impaired with a glass of wine, but not so severe that they can't turn around and take their child.
Yeah, but you still, depending on how much wine you had, you also don't want to drink and drive. Hold on a minute. 911, what's your emergency? Yes, hi. I'm at a birthday party, and my kid fell off the slide, busted open the lip, and I'm 6 joints in. I can't drive.
All I'm saying is she's equating it from one joint to one glass of wine.
Right.
All right. You get more impaired off of that one joint than you do one glass of wine.
That's another good point. Now, I'm not a scientist, so I can't actually classify and qualify.
It's a lot worse.
Okay, all right. So you've smoked a joint, you've smoked a glass of wine, and you're saying that you're much more impaired on the first joint than you are on the first glass of wine.
She's probably never smoked a glass of wine.
No, I've never
That's what you just said.
Hold on, did I just say what I say?
You said smoke a joint, smoke a glass of
Oh,
wine.
I'm sorry. Well, listen, you know what I meant. All right. So you've smoked a joint and you've drunk a glass of wine, and you're saying that you're much worse off on the joint.
Sure.
No, I've never smoked a joint. Okay.
Oh wait. Oh, I thought you smoked a joint.
No, never.
Your sister's the pothead, right?
Sister, yeah.
My sister-in-law is. Yeah.
What's her first name?
I'm not going to tell you.
Where does she live?
What's her address? Hey, Dawn, thanks for the call. Yeah, Fester.
Yeah, MJ, you smoke a joint, you're high for 2 hours. 2.5 hours.
See, I wouldn't know that. I'm not a pot smoker. I've never smoked a joint. I don't know that stuff.
According to Froggy.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Speaking of Froggy.
Yeah.
Has anybody heard from him since he said he can't join us today?
No, he was supposed to be.
It.
He was supposed to be on with us starting at 7:30 this morning. COVID from home, folks. If you don't know, Fester is not in the studio. Fester is at home. Froggy was supposed to also join from home. Both Fester and Froggy are COVID positive because the Omicron cases are up all over the place, and I can attest to it because 2 guys on my morning show are not here because they have COVID, and. Roxanne and myself, we're still testing.
Last people standing.
We're negative in this joint. All right, let me grab D-Flex. What up, D-Flex? I'm guessing D-Flex is a pot smoker. D-Flex, you're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105.
What's up, MJ? How you doing, man? You know I be smoking a bit of weed, man. I take care of my kids sometimes. And you know what? I got my homies. I got homegirls. She'll be drinking them 32-ounce beers.
All right, dude, you got to slow down. It sounds like you're on speed. All right, hang on. All right, D-Flex. All right, slow down and start from the beginning. I need you to cut your speed in half. All right?
All right.
I love this guy.
I'm trying to slow down. I get a little nervous on the radio, TV, wherever I may be at. I'm in Tampa right now. But what I'm trying to say is, you smoking that weed like the last caller, she don't smoke weed. It's a bad time to try to start smoking weed when you're taking care of kids. You know what I mean? So if you have a joint for the first time and there's kids around, I suggest you go sit down or go hang out with the kids. You know what I mean?
Okay. I love this guy. Thank you.
D-Flex, what was the last time you had a little, you have a little toke?
I mean, we're talking and talking, dog. You know what I mean? Talking and tolerating. You know what I'm saying?
Talking and tolerating.
All right, so are you toking and talking right now?
Well, I guess so. Yeah. Why not?
Oh my God.
D-Flex, thank you, buddy. Call again. Feel free to call the show anytime.
All right, D-Flex.
D-Flex. All right. Hey, Andrew, I see the phones are still ringing. Let me just grab the last ones that you've got screened, and then I got to move on. We got to talk about, hey, Fester, did you see the United Airlines ticket counter smackdown at Newark International?
Yes.
At Liberty at Newark? Did you see that?
This is getting out of control.
Oh, my God.
The violence toward airline employees.
Now, we don't know the whole story because the video starts halfway through. All right, so hold on. If you haven't heard about what happened at Newark Liberty International Airport at the United ticket counter, turns out with an ex-NFL player. Holy schnit.
Yeah, Herschel Walker. Who knew?
No, it wasn't Herschel Walker.
Okay.
Let me grab 3 more calls here, then I got to move on to the United story. Then we got the coat hanger deal going on. Megan is in Lakeland. Megan, you're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hi.
Good morning.
Hey, Megan, what do you think? For those just tuning in, the reason why we're taking calls, I talked about a woman named Caitlin. She's 28, Caitlin Fledager, and Caitlin says, don't judge me. If I'm watching my kids and I'm smoking a joint, there's no difference in me watching my kids like tons of other mommies that are sipping on a glass of wine. So we're just asking callers, do you agree that sipping wine or smoking a joint, Same thing in Caitlin's eyes. And what do you say, Megan?
Same thing. I couldn't agree more. I think it's worse to sit and drink around your kids. You get way more impaired drinking alcohol than you would smoking. And people are also judgy about it.
Now, Megan, how old are you?
I'm 39.
39. Do you have kids?
I do.
Your kids are at what age at this point?
They range from 19 to 11.
All right, so youngest is 11. And do you party? Do you smoke pot?
Yeah, I do. But what I don't do, I wouldn't sit in front of my children and like be like, hey, what's up? But whatever. But I'm going to step outside.
All right, how many kids do you have?
4.
All right, so let's go through the ages. You have 11, and what's the next age?
14.
11, 14, next.
16.
And then 19 is the oldest. So I think the obvious question, have you ever smoked a joint with your 19-year-old?
Yes.
What about the 16-year-old?
No.
What about the 11-year-old? No, that's a joke. That's a joke. I kind of figured you probably had shared a doob with the 19-year-old. Megan, thanks for the call. Thanks for your honesty. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Hey, have a great day.
Bye.
All right, 2 more calls, and then I got to move on. Wendy is in St. Petersburg. Wendy, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hey, Wendy.
Good morning.
Morning, Wendy.
I want to say I'm a lot older than the rest of the callers, but I don't see the difference between smoking a joint or drinking. And just to let you know, my sons are much older now. I didn't do either. I did do it all when I was a teenager, but I have 2 sons that don't drink or smoke pot.
So
I just think it's setting a bad example doing it in front of the kids. But no, I don't see any difference in smoking a joint or drinking. I'm open-minded.
All right, Wendy, thanks. All right, last call on this. Appreciate your phone call. Thanks for listening, Wendy. All right, Ed is going to wrap it up. Ed is in Tampa. Ed, you got the final say on Caitlin saying, hey, me smoking a joint, no different than other mommies drinking a glass of wine while they're watching the kids. Ed, what do you say?
I say that I agree. But it's all moderation and how much you do. I wouldn't say to smoke in front of kids, but to me, 1 or 2 little hits is no different than having a glass of wine or 1 or 2 beers. For me, it's the same effect.
All right, so
for you, it's the same effect, but I think you have to take into consideration different people have different body chemistry and react differently.
And Ed using the terminology, Ed using the language, taking some hits. So, Ed, when's the last time you took some hits, Ed?
Last night in the evening to relax. I prefer it versus drinking. It doesn't affect my equilibrium, and I could sleep all the way through, and I sleep like a baby.
All right, what's your dealer's name? What's his first name?
What is a dealer?
Card.
He doesn't have a
License.
What is it?
The medical license.
You get medical marijuana. Gotcha.
I thought he said Carl.
And then, Ed, now with your medical license, do you really have an ailment that you need the marijuana for?
Yeah, PSTD.
All right. Yeah. And what if you don't mind me asking, what is your post-traumatic stress disorder from?
Just a lot of things that I saw as a kid from violence and fighting and things like that still kind of bother me.
All right, got you. And Ed, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
54.
54. Right there, right at the top end there. Hey, thank you, Ed. I appreciate it.
No problem. Have a great day. Love
you
the show.
too. Hey, thank you, Ed, and thanks for your kind words about the show. Hey, listen, very enlightening. That was for me. That was an enlightening segment. All the phone calls, and most people, it seemed, thought that alcohol and a joint that there was parity there.
Fester, you called it.
Yeah, MJ, I knew that we would get a lot of calls. And passionate calls about this because there's a lot of people doing it.
And I'm glad it kind of turned into, it wasn't just about a mom having a drink or smoking weed. It turned into parents because should be both the men and the women held accountable for whatever they do.